Hey everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be sharing some dumb drunk experiences of mine. So if you're kind of curious as like dumb stupid mistakes I've done while I was drunk, then keep watching. So on brand to talk about drinking stories, we're having some drinks. So I'm just sitting here chilling on a Saturday night and I'm like, what could I kind of like, I don't know, I feel like filming, I feel like being in front of the camera, like talking, etc. And I'm like, what could I film? I've already filmed something, right? But I'm like, what could I film that's like talky, yada yada. Drunk stories of mine, you know, that paint me in such a beautiful light of dumbass bitch, I don't know. So story one. Don't recommend underage drinking, but it happens. And at a younger age, I was able to drink at home. Sometimes with my mom, like my parents, like it sounds really bad, but like, you know, as a teenager and stuff. But there was this one time and I had a couple drinks, and mind you, it doesn't take much to get me drunk. I'm like, woo, you know, a very big lightweight. Anyway, so we're drinking, it's summer, we're hanging outside, and you know those plastic lawn chairs? Yeah, we're just like chilling, and I think I'm gonna be so funny and I'm gonna stick my head through it. I thought that was funny. Until the fact that I got my head stuck in said chair. Yeah, I got my head stuck in the chair and I needed help getting out because my dumb drunk ass could get my head through, but it couldn't get it out. I don't know. Drunk ass me. And like, honestly, on my mom's old camcorder, there might be footage of me with my head stuck in the chair. It's either got some camera footage or like a photo, like some kind of footage. There is footage out there. Like, it won't be in this video because I don't freaking know where it is, but it exists out there. So, drunk story number one. Drunk story number two. This one time, I went out drinking with some friends, and we're a bunch of coworkers, and we're drinking and having like wings at this local restaurant, and we're sitting with a bunch of their guy friends. Like, I'm new to this town as well, like I'm only a year or two in kind of thing, right? And we're all just like chilling, hanging out, and then my one friend, she has to go home to her boyfriend, and then, you know, the group kind of dwindles down and dwindles down, and then it's just me and my one friend and like 4 other guys. And I get up, I go to the bathroom, I come back, and my friend and her guy, like one guy friend, they're gone. And I'm like, oh, where's my friend? And they're like, oh, she left with so-and-so. And I was like, cool. And they're like, we're going home, you coming? Kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't have a ride home. Like, I don't know how I'm getting home. Like, I'm drunk. And I'm like, okay, right? So I go with them, and we go to like the liquor store like right next to the place, get some more alcohol because, you know, we need that. And I remember like driving home with these 3 guys that I had just met that night, and I'm texting my mom. I'm like, I don't even know where I am, and she's like, okay, have fun. And then my phone died. My friends were like trying to message me because like they're like, where did she go, like etc, like wanted to make sure I was safe. But everything went fine. They drove me home the next morning. Like, of course, there's like more to that story. Like, there was more of a party when we got to their house, etc, etc. But I don't need to bore you with that unless you want to know. But yeah, so that's drunk story number 2. Okay, so I'm like sitting here and I'm like thinking, wow, I have like no drinking stories. And then it popped into my head, I have the most severe, horrible like drinking story. So it was one Halloween night. I get off of work at 6:30, And I go to my friend's house and we start drinking. And we're taking shots of like Bull's Blue Crusoe or Crow, whatever it's called, and like the Skull type vodka. And we're taking shots of those. And then we have like those half glass shots and we're mixing the two and taking shots of those. And in no time, we're shit-faced. And I was also like, you know, bad stuff at home. Like I'm 19 or something. Yeah, I was like 19 because I was like, woo, I can get into the bar for the first time for Halloween, right? So I remember I take this one shot and in goes the shot and out comes the puke. And I puked and I was like in her living room and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay, I've puked on the carpet lots. Like she's like, my man won't mind, like, etc., etc. And I was like so embarrassed. And from that point on, I am just like blacked out, fuzzy, shit-faced, hammered, crazy, drunk. So I go to the bathroom and I'm like not feeling good. And I just kind of remember in and out of it. Like I kind of think about it now and it's like, I don't know how long the time was, but we were all supposed to get ready to go to the bar, dress up in our costumes. I didn't even get into my costume. That never happened. So I'm at the toilet, and I remember just like hugging the toilet, and my friend coming over, and she's like, we're going to the bar, do you want to come? I'm like, mm-mm. I'm just like, okay, here, drink some water. I'm like, mm-mm. And she makes me drink it, and I like spit it right out into the toilet, and she's just like, okay. And then she's like, do you know your mom's number? I'm like, uh-huh. She's like, do you know the number for 911? And I was like, yeah. I was that far gone. And she's like, okay, well, is it okay if we go? And I'm like, yeah, peace, right? So she brought me a blanket and a pillow and also that water in the bathroom, right? And I'm in there for a while. Her boyfriend comes back to check on me a while later, and I'm just like, like, good to go. And like, she had left her phone with me, not my phone, but that's why she was like, do you know your mom's number, all that stuff. I don't know why she left her phone, like, it never made sense to me. But anyway, so she's like, so he leaves, and shortly after that I get nauseous and I throw up blood. I start throwing up and there's blood. And I'm like, awesome. And right after that, I start like shaking, vibrating, and I'm just like, so I like curled up in my blanket and the pillow, and I went to her living room couch and passed out. And the next morning I woke up and I was fine. Oh, and then my mom was like, why didn't you call me? Like, you know, like, you weren't okay, you were puking blood, like, that's not the norm, you shouldn't, like, yeah. So that's one of my most severe ones, and to this day I can't even stand the smell of like Bull's Blue Crusoe or like, if there's a drink with that blue alcohol in it, I can't drink it. I can't even smell it. It turns my stomach. I can't do it. Vodka, fine. Not that blue shit. That blue stuff is just like, no, stay away from me. Like, oh, it's bad. It's like, you know, like how there's like that meme, it's like that one drink you can't even smell and it brings back like nightmares kind of thing. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's that one for me. And it's, I was a mess that night, and I'm surprised nothing worse happened. I'm surprised I wasn't like, that could have gone so bad. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'm fine, you know. Cool. So this next story is not necessarily my drunk story, but I was involved in it, and it's just way too funny not to share. So this one, one time, my mom had her friend over and they were drinking. I was at work, and I worked till 10:30, and it was probably like 17, 18, probably 17, I don't know. And they were drinking like smoothies with vodka, like raspberry vodka, and they're like, come, like, you know, like, when I get home I was gonna drink with them kind of thing, right? And So I get home, and I was supposed to get picked up, but my mom's like, no, we're like, already gone, basically. So I was like, okay, I'll walk home. It was like a 5-minute walk. It's not a big deal. I just didn't like walking home at 10:30 at night, right? So I get home, and they're already like pretty gone there. And so I start to have like a smoothie with them, and it's like raspberry vodka with like this like fruit smoothie. It's like really delicious, and it's in a punch bowl. My mom is so shit-faced to the point she picks up the punch bowl and she's like drinking like that because she thinks it's the funniest stuff ever. Fast forward, not too long later, my mom's projectile vomiting in the bathroom, and I go to check on her, and all I see is like up the side of the tub, like the curtains, the toilet, it's just like red splatter everywhere. And she's like, go away, like so embarrassed and ashamed of herself, So I leave her be. I go out with the friend, and I'm like, my sister ends up helping her clean up all the vomit and everything, and my mom was like so ashamed. And my sister's like just helping. She's just like the motherly type, right? So she's just like helping. Mom's like, you shouldn't have done that. And she's like, I love you. And it's just, oh my God. And like to this day, we still like, I can still picture in my head my mom going like that with the punch bowl and walking into the bathroom and it kind of being like a murder scene. And yeah, there was also another time when I was like really little, and I remember my mom was sick and she was throwing up, and I like brought her a bucket and I was like getting her a cold cloth for her forehead, and she's like, thinking I'm so sweet. And like I didn't realize it until like later on in life. She's like, I was hammered, shit-faced, like puking or hungover puking, one of the two kind of thing. And I'm like, it's okay, Mom, I take care of you. Like, it makes my mom sound like such a drunk or something, but she's not. But anywho, that's the funny kind of side story on my mom, because I thought, that's too funny not to share. And I apparently don't really have that many drunk stories because I'm not really like the party goer, the drinker, you know what I mean? Like, it's very rare that I drink, and then if I do, like, the worst thing I do is like when we go to bars, I'd always dance on the pole. But I have a pole in my garage, so like, what am I gonna be like, oh, this one time I got drunk and I was like dancing on the pole? Like, that's not exciting. That's not anything new. I guess I will tell this story because I don't even know if I told this on my store or on my channel already, but for my champagne birthday, there was a wet t-shirt contest in my town, and I was like, I always wanted to do a wet t-shirt contest. I don't know why, but whatever, it's kind of me. So I've always wanted to do one, and I'm like, it's on a Wednesday, it's on my birthday, like of all days, it ended up being on my birthday, and I was like, it's my champagne birthday, I've always wanted to do this, like, gotta do this, right? So time that's coming around, Rusty's in camp, my sister's out of town, and girl doesn't really have friends, and the kind of friends that I was asking aren't, really there. So who do I ask to go with me? If you guess my mom, you're right. Yeah, me as a grown adult asked my mom to take me to a wet t-shirt contest so I could enter. Yeah, that's right, best mom ever took me. So before I left, I took like 2 shots of moonshine because I was like so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh. And we get there, and he sees my ID. He's like, oh, happy birthday. I'm like, thanks. And he's like, there's a wet t-shirt contest tonight. I'm like, yeah, I'm entering. Like, so happy, right? And he's like, go sign up at the bar or whatever. So I sign up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, right? And me and my mom sit down, and the lady comes over, and she's like, she's like, you entered the wet t-shirt contest? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm buying you a drink. I'm like, okay. And she's like, what do you want? And I told her, and then she got what my mom wanted. So we got a free drink right off the bat. And I'm also wearing my birthday girl sash because I was like, it's my birthday, it's my champagne birthday, I'm entering a wet t-shirt contest, I'm gonna like wear a sash and get like, you know, all the special attention I need, right? You know, we're trying to win. So then we're sitting there having our drinks, and I think I may have ordered one round for me and my mom that I paid for, but I'm not sure if I bought any drinks that night. So these guys that were sitting near us, they're like, oh, so like, what's the sash about, and yada yada. And I was like, oh, it's my birthday, yada yada, my mom took me out. And they're just like two older gentlemen, and they're just talking with me and my mom, and they're like, well, this is our last beer, like, do you mind if we sit with you while we finish our beer? And we're like, totally, no big deal. So then we're just chatting, and they're like, oh, well, what brings you to here for your birthday? And Mom's like, she's entering the wet t-shirt contest. And they're like, no freaking way. And we're like, yeah, totally. And it's like, you're so brave. And I'm like, I have the worst anxiety, but yeah, wet t-shirt contest, I'm all excited for it, right? And as time goes by, I'm like getting nervous. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And the guys are like, well, we're staying now. Like, ain't no way we're leaving. And they're like, what's taking so long? So they go and ask, and apparently no one else is entering. No one else, just me. Girl's already drunk by this time because these guys who are sitting with us have bought us drinks as well, and shots. So me and my mom are just like, you know, we're all good to go. So these guys are like, no one's entering the contest, right? So the one guy, he's like, oh, I'm calling up my girls, right? So he like calls up his like coworker or something. He gets some girls to come down and convinces them to enter the contest. And so these two other girls enter the contest, and we go up there, right? We have the wet t-shirt contest, and like we're on stage in our like white shirts, and we just get sprayed with water guns and stuff. And you know, it's a Wednesday night, not very many people, and my mom's in the crowd, and they're like, proud mom moment, you know, like, and there I am on stage entering this wet t-shirt contest, which I won. That's right, I won. It was done by cheers and stuff, and I won $250, just like that, just for like being on stage for like, what, 5 minutes? So, yeah, that was what I did for my champagne birthday. I entered a wet t-shirt contest and won. And to be honest, it did spark multiple entries into wet t-shirt contests since then. It was all last year. It was all last year. Yeah, it was all last year that I did this. So last year on my champagne birthday is the day it started, and then from then on I went to another one at that bar, and there was way more competition that time. There was a lot of girls on stage. I made it to 3rd place. Didn't win any money, but you know, that's okay. It was a huge bummer though for me, and I was just like not for it for a while. And then at the other bar, they had a wet t-shirt contest, and I went there and I won 3rd place, so I got $100. And then another time I went and I won 3rd place again, and I got another $100. So I've gone 4 times and won a total of $450 for a wet t-shirt contest. So my boobs have made me $450 for like, you know, 25 minutes of my time kind of thing. Like, yes, I didn't win one time, but every other time I've come out like at least $100 richer, so I think that's pretty cool. So, and honestly, I would do them again, but there hasn't been any wet t-shirt contests where I'm at, so like, you know, win some, you lose some, I don't know. But so I got all my wet t-shirt contest stuff out last year, but yeah, so those are my 5 drinking crazy stories, I guess. I'm not that adventurous. I'm not that big of a drinker. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want more videos like this, then let me know, and I will talk to you